Hey Shannon, I thought I would just show you briefly how I go about doing those effects with the exercises and stuff. Let's say for instance we have an exercise where you're supposed to like translate this. Let's say number. You're supposed to translate into Latin. Okay, so let's say you're supposed to translate into Latin. Let's say uh, Marcus loves Livia. Okay. What I do then is that beneath this, I create a table. Like so, would I go up to the table menu, and I insert a table. By the way, this will look different for you because I think you use a PC, and the it looks different, but the principles are pretty much the same in a PC from a Mac. But I'm gonna add a table with only one column and one row. Boom, like this. Okay. And when it's first created, it has these borders and you can manipulate the borders, but you can get rid of all the borders by going up here to this menu here. And I can just get rid of all the borders, and then I can give it a bottom border, again, using the same menu. Boom. And now we have a blank. So I can say here, and I can change the format of what's going on in this blank here of this. So this is actually a table. Actually, let me show you. This actually allows you, these are grid lines here. You can actually see the, let me make this a little bit bigger. You can actually see the shape of the table here. These would not show up in printing or something like that, but here in this case, we've got a blank now, and you can change the formatting. Like you can go here and you can make it italic, and you can make it blue. Let's make it blue, okay? And then you can just start typing. So that's gonna be Marcus Liwiam Amat. Okay, so that's just how you make a simple blank. You just make a table. And what happens, of course, if you don't use a table, what happens when you type, if you just do like an underline, it starts to split up. But if you do it in a table, the line remains there. For more complex things, let's say you're going to have something like put the correct form of Livia in the blank, and you'll have something like this. Okay, so now I'm going to create a table like this. I'm going to make a table, insert table, and I'm going to insert a table which has 3 columns and 1 row, boom, like that. And here, so I'm going to say, let's say, so the question is something like, or why don't we, actually, the question is, let's say, so we have Marcus, and then I'm going to move this border here, there, and here. And then we're going to have Amat. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the borders. Boom. Right. And as I say, I left grid lines here. These would not be printed or would not show up if you made a PDF, and they wouldn't show up in Google Docs. But these little dotted lines here, but actually I could remove them. They're called grid lines. They're just supposed to, let me just remove and show you grid lines. So grid lines, they're like not really visible, right? But they're there to help you format things. So I've got the grid lines there. And so here's my blank. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that a bottom border, table layout. No, actually table design, excuse me. I'm going to give it a bottom border. Boom, it now has a bottom border. Oh, let's get rid of those grid lines. Okay, there's now a bottom border, and I'm just for aesthetic purposes, I'm going to put this in the center, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to change it to blue, and I'm going to make it italic. And so now you have a blank, and you can go like Liwiam, right? So I do everything with tables, and you can get them pretty ornate. Like here's the thing, like some of the times when I created these things, I actually had just long tables, like tables with like, maybe 20 or 30 rows, and they were all fancy formatted to have things. In fact, in my experience, it's better to keep the tables as simple as possible, like not make one big elaborate table, because Microsoft Word will start to make mistakes. Tables can be, when you make them very complicated, can make it difficult for Microsoft Word. But the essential thing is whenever I have these blanks, essentially what it is it's the bottom, it's the bottom border of a table, right? And the table is not visible because I didn't make its borders invisible, right? And I do all this stuff in Microsoft Word because I just haven't been able to figure out how to do complex table formatting in Google Docs in any efficient manner. And there's some basic sorts of things I still can't figure out how to do in Google Docs. So I do it all in Microsoft Word. I upload the Microsoft Word document, then I copy it in Google Docs. I upload it to Google Docs. I copy what I want in Google Docs from that document I've uploaded, and I paste it into the Blackboard. And that's how I do the fancy formatting. I hope this is helpful, and I'm going to shut up now. But that's the general idea. You just use tables. Tables are kind of amazing. You can do pretty amazing things with them if you want to get really into it. As I say, the real problem is if you create tables that are too complicated, Microsoft Word, at least in the Mac version that I use, often will begin to make mistakes, and you'll have problems. Okay. Bye.